Kia ora koutou, ko Jody toka ingoa. I'm the Lower North Island Regional Property Coordinator, and I'm going to cover off property approvals for you in this short video. You'll find supporting documents and guidance on the Place Into website once you're logged in, and it's in the property section, so please look through this because there's going to be more information added progressively over time. For specific centre questions, you can seek support from your local regional property coordinator, or you can email askproperty@placecentre.org.nz with any general questions. General maintenance and upkeep of the buildings and grounds is the responsibility of the individual Place Centre committees, usually coordinating this as part of the property officer's role, and the centre allocates funds in the annual budget specifically for property maintenance. So things like heat pump servicing, bark and sand top-ups, cleaning, testing for tank and any other stored rainwater tanks, handy person allowances, plumbers or electricians call-outs, the annual fire maintenance company's service for extinguishers and hose reels, if you have them, and also building warrant of fitness inspection or inspections, but again, only if you have a building warrant of fitness on your wall, you would be able to find a copy of that. Many centres have them, some centres don't. And generally things like a small budget for allocation for supplies for each working bee, etc. They're all the types of things that you would find and allocate annually in your budget for maintenance. So maintenance is broadly considered to include work up to about $500 value, and where items are being maintained or replaced as like for like. Over this value, it's usually possible to apply to the National Property Fund if the work fits within the criteria for funding support to go towards the items over that value. There's a separate video on this and documents to go with it. And generally, if it's over $500, we would consider it to be a project. So all projects require approval from Place Centre Aotearoa. There is a form to be filled out, which should be sent to your property coordinator. They'll check that the centre has covered off the relevant aspects of compliance for consideration, and they'll confirm once Place Centre Aotearoa has approved the project to proceed. For a simple item, approval might be sent through the same day, and for large projects, approval may take a week or two, although it's always best to involve your property coordinator early on with any large projects, so that by the time the form is completed, all the mahi has been done. Sometimes the project might be as simple as replacing a small area of carpet or vinyl, or replacing a section of fence. Adding locks or bolts to doors, although often considered a low-cost item, they can affect things like fire egress. So if you want to make any changes or additions to the building envelope, it's best to check with your property coordinator before you proceed. A quick email, text or phone call can steer you in the right direction. Sometimes the project's larger and therefore more obviously a capital works project. Capital works projects include items such as refurbishing the bathroom or adding a shed, a swing set or a fort structure, replacing the roofing or replacing the flooring, or something obviously larger like adding an extension or relocating a building. Project application forms are available on the Place Centre Aotearoa website, Policies and Procedures section, under Taking Care of Our Assets, Property and Equipment. I think there's also a link just been added into the property page as well, which will take you directly into those forms from there. Many of these capital works projects will require landlord approval, Ministry of Education approval, and some will require a building consent from council, and a few may need resource consent from council as well. And so please contact your property coordinator first, and then they will advise you whether you should contact any of the other parties based on the information you discuss. Examples of projects that require further consideration and wider approval, or a more detailed approval process than just simply getting some quotes and filling out the form, can include things like replacing or adding a garden shed that's within 2 metres of the boundary, or replacing boundary fencing. Depending on the structure of ownership or the lease details that we have for the property, for your Place Centre. In some cases, Place Centre is responsible for all the building upkeep. So that would mean including things like replacing roofing or windows, And in some cases, the lease, if you have a building lease, the responsibilities might limit our requirements to the interior of the building only, and usually any playground equipment, in which case, if it was something like a building exterior, the roofing or windows, we may contact the building owner to look at funding that work if it needs doing. So thank you for watching. Please look through the information on the website or contact your local property coordinator for any further queries. Ka kite anō o ia koroa.